Okay, so we have a Q&A, and the first question is, guess what I ate today? Today I ate grapes. Guess what I ate yesterday? Yesterday I also ate grapes. And the day before, this is day 7 of a grape fast, yay! And just to add on top of that, yesterday night I stopped eating at 4:30 and had nothing, no water, nothing until 10:30 today. So that's 18-hour dry fast on top of the grape fast. So clearly today's Q&A is going to be the fast Q&A. Number 1, why is fasting good for you? Number 2, what are the types of fasting? Number 3, how long should you fast? Number 4, what are the dangers of fasting? And number 5 is a little bonus, which I'll get to in the end. Okay, so first one, why is fasting good for you? So there are different levels to detox, which we will get to in 1 second in the next question. And fasting happens to be one of the very high levels of detox. It's about just getting the body to be very strong. I know it doesn't sound like it makes any sense, but it will in a second when we talk about the different levels. And by using the power of the body for something other than digestion, we're able to get into the more deep cleanse, which is why we do the longer fasting. Now, there's going to be a lot of links to a lot of videos today because I think that fasting is a very vast subject and it requires a lot of different people doing it in different ways. So this is what we're going to provide today. As you'll know, I follow the Dr. Morse diet, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing specifically. I actually started because over the last couple of months, I noticed that I'm gaining water weight, and that's very dangerous. And I decided that whatever it is that's, requires a bit of refreshment, my body would probably need a little bit of a relaxation from food. And this is where the grape fast comes in. Now, grape fasting happens to be, of the long-term monomeal fasting, the most balanced, and that's why I chose it. And it's been extremely easy. I must say, I've done this before. I've done 13 days on my second year, and no, actually my first year, and then that was really hard to do, and I couldn't concentrate on anything else, and I thought of food all the time. And now it's really a vacation. I'm having a great time. I'm not, having any cravings. I feel very powerful. I sleep very well. So I must say that, again, this is very personal, and this is also why it's very important to share different resources today. Okay, so there are many types of fasting, as we mentioned before. I'm going to link the first video about just that, general, and then we're going to move into the more deeper types. So if we look at the diet as a sort of pyramid, now I know if those of you who also follow the same diet that I do already seen the pyramid, but essentially at the base is things that don't detoxify, and then we start going up and up. So when we start getting into fasting, the fasting part of the pyramid is, well, first of all, it's just eating only fruits. Then on top of that, there's different types of monomealing. Mono means just one. We eat only one thing, like the grape fast. And then on top of that, there's different types of juice fasting, where everything is not only sort of liquid like a smoothie, but actually full juice. And then on top of that, we have the water fasting, and on top of that, the dry fasting. So what I did yesterday. So I'm going to just give you a couple of videos right now so you can see how different people do these things. The first resource is actually not a video. It's Dr. Jensen's Guide to Diet and Detoxification. I read this book during my first year. It's not exactly raw vegan, but it's kind of the step right before. And he liked to put people on the grape fast. He found it to be very beneficial. And because this is something that I personally like to do, I actually do green grapes instead of red grapes. It's not because it's better, it's because I know that if I stick a couple more days, I will not want to eat green grapes for the next year. So if I did this with red grapes, then I wouldn't be able to eat them. So that's kind of my own way of doing it. But if you are going to do it and you're just doing it for fasting, red grapes are a bit better. Okay, one step up, actually a couple of steps up, the water fasting. So those of you who follow FullyRaw Kristina, who is an amazing inspiration, she's on the 80-10-10 diet and they like to do a lot of water fasting. She did a 9-day vlog on YouTube, and I'll link the video in a second. And you can see her after 9 days of going just water. She did this supervised, she was very successful. And you can see her energy and her happiness and actually some of the struggles on the way, so that's helpful. And another one is Markus Rotkranz interviewing Bogdonovich. He was sick as a child, and as he grew up he discovered the benefits of fasting and he learned to do them for longer periods of time over the years. So definitely a source worth watching, and I think he's also inspirational because he really fought for his own health. Oh, I forgot, Food Babe, the activist, did a juice fast for over a year. I'll link that as well for you guys to see her. And the last one is the Dr. Morse video on dry fasting, which we do because it opens up the kidneys for filtration. Which is actually why I did this yesterday, because I felt as if my body's trying to let go of stuff and it's just not good enough, even with the grapes, because the grapes are kind of, all my cells are going, yay, detox party, and my kidneys are going, whoa, wait, not everybody at once. So that's why I did the dry fast, and I do feel a lot more relieved today. I lost my water weight, I think, on day 3 or 4. So I'm just going on because how long should you fast? So in a second I'll link 2 videos. They're both by Dr. Morse, and they're talking about using the tongue as a tool and how to start and break a fast. So the first one, when we start getting all these acids moving, you're gonna get a little bit of change of color on your tongue. That is a really good sign, because if you don't, it means it's just not working and you're just fasting for no reason and you're depleting your body rather than giving it power. So usually it would be a white color, but for some people it could go as far as black. And the rule of thumb is, again, if it's not, so the day it's not, the day that your tongue goes pink again, that's the time in which you know it's over. The body's no longer interested in the fast. So the tongue can be used as a tool to, we have a couple of tools of knowing what's inside us. One of them that I mentioned on, I think my first Q&A, was iridology and the changes of color in the eye. Another one that I love is wrinkles. Yes, I actually love them because guess what? They are organ specific. So if you get frown lines, you know that you need to work on your liver, and then the next day you won't have as much, or maybe not at all. If you get the ones here, that relates to the digestive system, and then you know, okay, maybe I've been eating too many nuts, maybe take that down a little bit, or anything around this area, that's kidneys and adrenals, so you know, oh, okay, time to go in the parsley. So yeah, having anything that can tell us what's going on real time is quite an asset, and you know, having the different colors of the tongue, I'll link the video, that would really help. And how to start and break a fast. So this is, again, you know, I intend to go for a couple of more days, and there would be a time in which it would be the right time to stop, either because you know, I do live in a cold country, I am eating the fruit from the supermarket, so to some extent I'm not getting all the nutrients that I can be getting, and I shouldn't go for too long. The idea is that you start on a fruit and you break on a fruit. I'll link the video in a second, and it's very important to keep to that, to not be in a place that is so light and then start going and shocking the body with something else, because that's very dangerous. In fact, it could be so dangerous that you'd end up in the ER, and that's kind of wasting the doctor's time. I mean, you know, what if someone falls off a mountain at the same time? They need to stitch him up, and instead we come with our like stupid cheats. That's wrong. That's just plain wrong. Okay, dangers of fasting. The 3. Number 1, we just mentioned, breaking it wrong. Number 2, getting into deficiencies, we also mentioned. So I'm currently on the superfood formula and the heal all tea, and I'm also taking a little bit of anti-parasites because I am aware that whatever is coming out of me, stuff that the body could not completely digest, and in nature, you always get a little bit of help, and I don't want that. So, and the third one is dehydrating if you're going on a dry fast for too long, or, I mean, I suppose with any of the other fasts, you're actually getting a lot of liquids. And now we have the bonus question for me. So, look, I started sick about a little over 9 years ago, and I was healing from a lot of stuff through different types of detox diets until I found raw vegan, and I'm still working really hard. I mean, I just did the 5-page health assessment a month ago, and I was down 2/3 of my symptoms, and I am blessed to be able to do this. And I think there are a lot of us out there, and I always felt that this diet is like my way of standing up. It's my way of saying to all the experts that tried to help me, and there were amazing ones that did, but there were also amazing ones that didn't. And to all the people who are not supporting us in doing what we do, for me, this is the way we stand up. And we stand up to certain industries that should really be monitored a bit more carefully. So I have a question for you. Will you join me? Just for one day. It doesn't have to be full. Just take something off. Tomorrow, don't eat chicken. Tomorrow, don't eat dairy. Just one thing. Just for one day. And tell people you've done it. Will you join me? I love you all. Always happy to share recipes with you. Weird to mention it on a day of a fast. Please subscribe and let's stay together.